So k of x is equal to the square root of 2 plus 7x plus 3x squared. Now, whenever you have a square root, what kind of restrictions do you have? If you have a calculator and you did the square root of 0, will it give you domain error? It gives you 0, right? So then I could have a 0. However, the only restriction is that I cannot have any negative numbers, right? So the domain of a square root is you take whatever underneath the square root, which is right here is 2 plus 7x plus 3x squared, has to be greater than or equal to 0. It cannot be negative numbers. It has to be strictly greater than or equal to 0. So now from here, whenever you're working with the square root and you're trying to find the domain, use the number line. Here, what you're gonna do, first I'm gonna rewrite this to look something like that. And now I'm gonna factor, so I'm gonna have 3x, it's 3x plus 1, x plus 2. Always check whenever you're doing the factoring. So expand this, and you're supposed to end up with what you started with, which works because I've tried it. And now you're gonna do each factor to be equal to 0 and solve for x. So here x is equal to negative 1/3, x is equal to negative 2. Now here use a number line. So you're gonna put negative 2, negative 1/3, and choose values. Negative 3 is gonna be one of the values, negative 1, and 0. And you're gonna test each of these values and see which ones is true. You test x equals negative 3. You're gonna plug it back into this right here. So it's 2 plus 7 times negative 3. Is this gonna be greater than or equal to 0? That's gonna give you 8 greater than or equal to 0. That means it works. When you plug x equals negative 1, you will get negative 2. Is negative 2 greater than or equal to 0? It's not, so these values don't work. When you do x is equal to 0 or 1, you will have 2, which 2 is greater than 0, meaning these values work. So then my domain is gonna be, starting from left to right, negative infinity up to negative 2 is included. And then it's the inequality here is greater than or equal to, so these values are included in your interval notation. Now, any value between negative 1 and negative 1/3 are excluded. So now I start with negative 1/3, which I included, all the way to infinity. Infinity signs always get parentheses.